The Otsutsuki Clan, the personal or pretty much the physical manifestation of milking a franchise. Wagwan people, Sanjay Uchiha here, and welcome to another Boruto discussion where today we'll be talking about the problems I have with the Otsutsuki Clan, and by extension, the problem I'll be having or potentially be having with Isshiki Otsutsuki going forward with the Boruto manga. So of course, there will be spoilers for this video, and yeah, that's your warning. So without further ado, let's get right into the discussion. Alright, so as it stands right now with the latest chapter of Boruto Manga, chapter 47, there have been a number of Otsutsuki that have graced the screens of the Naruto universe, being Kaguya, Otsutsuki, Hagoromo, Indra, Ashura, Kinshiki, Momoshiki, Tonieri, and now Isshiki. I might be missing one, maybe. Oh yeah, and Hamura, yeah. So, quite a bit of Otsutsuki. And for the most part, I think I can confidently say they have not stood out as the most well-received antagonists or villains within the Boruto franchise, and for good reason, given that at the end of the Naruto story, or Naruto Shippuden, Kaguya stood as a character that persons really hated, if for no other reason but for the fact that she replaced a character in Madara Uchiha who was built up over the longest period of time for the Naruto story. And even though she did provide some interesting aspects to the lore, and for for the most part her and her family have been the main reason why we have the Boruto story, I can confidently say that a lot of persons still aren't, they haven't been well received. And to this day, even 6 years after the end of the Naruto manga, they haven't been written in a fashion that has changed the minds of the readers and watchers, if I'm being quite honest. And it stands to reason, or it kind of stems from the reason that all the Otsutsuki, they're pretty bland and one-dimensional in their motivations and goals and objectives. There is no emotional resonance and connection that I would say the readers have with the Otsutsuki. And I think this filters back down in the current concerns that I have with the Boruto manga going forward, where I can confidently again admit that it doesn't have the best antagonists, given that they are Otsutsuki based, even though there are characters outside of Otsutsuki right now which comprise the Kara members such as Delta, Code, etc, etc. They still haven't really established themselves as characters that, you know, that we can actually root for as antagonists. And as I said, it really and truly does trickle back down to the concerns I feel persons have with the Boruto manga, as Isshiki Otsutsuki has been like fully introduced, even though probably not in the best vessel that he really, or not the vessel he wanted, really and truly. But it kind of comes back down to the whole, the persons that are for Boruto are going to be saying, yo, just wait and see, wait for Kodachi to really develop Ishiki's character. And you have the persons who are against Boruto as a franchise and say, yo, it's another Otsutsuki. There's nothing that really stands out about him or really adds, you know, quality to the story. And I understand both sides of the coin, because really and truly, of all the Otsutsuki, none of them really stand out as being these well received, well charactered, like, well, like, I'm not gonna say like, yo, Kaguya was like badass dog, like, yo, Kaguya, or, you know, nothing like that. It's not like a Madara or any of the other characters within the story that, you know, really vibed with you as antagonists. So yeah, I can appreciate and I can acknowledge the concerns, because it's concerns I have as well, even with the whole argument of, you know, wait and see. Of course, that's it. But, you know, there's a precedent, there's a history of the Otsutsuki not being the most, yeah, exciting things to look forward to. Now, as we go along, I would like to believe that Kodachi is going to allow us to explore the culture and the backstory of the Otsutsuki, and hopefully establish them as more than this one-dimensional set of aliens that just want to do gardening, as Amado puts it, within the Boruto manga. Because honestly, despite the alternatives I have suggested and have thought of regarding Kodachi could pull regarding just to allow readers to get more invested in the story. We still need good antagonists at the end of the day, and as it stands, the Otsutsuki are quite frankly boring if I'm if I'm being honest. Yes, they're amazing from a power standpoint, and just the ridiculous idea of how the characters are going to overcome them, and just the idea that they're pushing the power scale of the Naruto universe to some ridiculous heights. Like if I'm actually projecting it to be on like some Dragon Ball Z levels by the end of the story, in terms of like what the characters will be able to destroy, what they can do, etc, etc. Just through simple scaling that Naruto and Sasuke, even though they're basically gods in the verse right now, they are nothing in comparison to Isshiki, if I'm being honest. So yeah, but all of that aside, we need more than that for the quality of the story to be assured going forward. And just to go past this boring aspect of the Otsutsuki, they're cool. They're no, sorry, cool. They're boring, and I think this is why a lot of persons were very interested in the character of Urashiki in the Boruto anime before he was basically wasted, because he really actually stood as a character that was, he had personality, and I think that's one thing that really draws persons to like antagonists. Like, it's just one small aspect, but it still plays a major role in persons getting invested in them and the story. If they have personalities, goals, can they be painted as like morally gray instead of just black and white? Even though you have your black and white characters that, you know, that don't really need to be painted any other way, and they do well, but they have personality too. So that's the thing. These Otsutsuki, they need to be explored. The culture needs to be explored. We need more backstory. We need to see how they live their life, how they came to be, etc, etc, just to escape the one-dimensionalness of the Otsutsuki clan. Because honestly, it's just not cutting it. It's not cutting the bread, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'm hoping Kodachi can do something with them.